Summary of Moby-Dick by Herman Melville. The novel starts out with a well-known quote, "Call me Ishmael." Ishmael, who tells the story in Moby-Dick, wants freedom from his life in New York City, so he heads north to New Bedford, Massachusetts, to find a job on a whaling ship. Ishmael meets Queequeg at the Spooter Inn in New Bedford. Queequeg is a native guy from Kokavoko in the Pacific Islands. He has been trained as a harpooner on whale ships and hunts and traps whales. Even though Ishmael is afraid of Queequeg at first, they quickly become friends and agree to go to Nantucket together on a ship that Ishmael chooses. There, Ishmael comes across a ship called the Pequod. When he talks to two of the boat's owners, Peleg and Bildad, he learns that the Pequod's captain, Ahab, is a strange man who doesn't usually talk to other people. He might even be crazy. Ishmael finds out later that Ahab lost a leg when a particularly mean whale bit it off. This whale is called Moby-Dick, and it is known for being white, mean, and impossible to catch. Even though they are afraid of Ahab and a man named Elijah has harsh things to say about the captain, Ishmael and Queequeg decide to leave on the Pequod. On Christmas Day, the ship leaves Nantucket. Once they are out at sea, Ishmael tells the reader about the boat and hunting. He also often talks about the historical, scientific, religious, and psychological aspects of whaling. Ishmael also presents Starbuck, the practical and careful first mate, Stubb, the wild and skilled whale fisher and second mate, and Flask, the mediocre third mate. Ahab finally shows up on the Pequod's deck and tells the crew that even though they are a normal fishing ship, they also have a special mission, to find Moby-Dick and kill him. Ahab says he will give a gold doubloon weighing 1 ounce to the first person who sees the white whale. The Pequod has a number of gams, or meetings at sea, with other ships. Some of these ships have had good luck at sea, while others have been destroyed by accidents, weather, or Moby-Dick. The town ho tells a long story about a mutiny that was stopped by Moby-Dick. The Rosebud, on the other hand, just talks about the sick whales it has tied to its side. During this long part of the book, the Pequod moves through the Indian and into the Pacific Oceans, Stubb gets a whale, and Ishmael tells how the whale is skinned and its oil drained, and Ahab keeps planning to kill the white whale. When Ahab's old wooden leg breaks, he has the ship's carpenter make him a new one. Queequeg, who thinks he is dying of fever, asks the carpenter to make him a coffin, which, when Queequeg gets better, becomes the ship's lifebuoy. Ahab also asks Perth, the ship's blacksmith, to make him a new harpoon, which he then baptizes with the blood of the ship's 3 heathen harpooners, Tashtego, Dagu, and Queequeg. In this middle part, we also learn that Ahab has smuggled 5 Asian men, including one named Fedallah, onto the Pequod. These men are from a country that is not named, and they will help Ahab find and kill Moby-Dick. Stubb and Flask are sure that Fedallah is the incarnation of the devil and that Ahab gave his life to the devil in order to catch the white whale. Finally, as they get close to Japan, Ahab is sure that Moby-Dick is nearby. This is because other ships have seen the whale and told him about it. Moby-Dick is the first whale Ahab sees, and the hunt for whales continues for 3 days. On the first day, Ahab tries to throw the harpoon at Moby-Dick but misses. His small whaleboat flips over, but everyone makes it back to the Pequod safely. On the second, Ahab uses his harpoon to catch Moby-Dick, but Fedallah gets stuck in the line and drowns when Moby-Dick jumps into the water. On the third, Starbuck tells Ahab to quit the mission, but Ahab goes back to Moby-Dick and throws his harpoon again. This time, Ahab is caught in the line, and he is hung and killed with his own rope. Moby-Dick then turns around and crashes into the Pequod, which sinks and kills everyone on board except Ishmael, who floats away on Queequeg's coffin and lives to tell the story. The Rachel, a ship that the Pequod used to trade with, picks up Ishmael. The book ends.
About the author. Herman Melville's writings have made him famous all over the world since he died at the end of the 19th century, but most Americans didn't read him much when he was alive, and his best works were met with a mix of confusion and disinterest. Melville's mother, Maria Gansford, was from a wealthy family in New York. However, Melville's father, Alan, lost a lot of money when Herman was a young man. Melville went to several schools in New York State because of this, but he never learned a single trade. He taught high school in different places in New York State. Later, he chose to try his luck as a sailor, just like his main character Ishmael does in Moby-Dick. Melville wrote the books Typee, 1846, and Omo, 1847, based on things he learned on several long sea journeys. Melville's early reputation as an adventure writer came from these books. This reputation stuck with him for the rest of his life, even as his work got stranger and more psychological and religious. Melville got married in 1847 and started writing stories, including Moby-Dick, which he finished in 1851 in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. During this time, Melville became friends with fellow writer Nathaniel Hawthorne and gave Moby-Dick to him. Many people now think that this book is one of the best ever written in English, but when it came out, reviews were mixed. Some of Melville's later works, like Pierre, Benito Cereno, and The Confidence Man, did even worse with readers. Melville worked in a customs house when he was older to make money. He died in 1891.
Hope we summarized it fully and you liked it. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so that we are motivated to create more videos.